what sport you play.
So I'm Jason Rogers, and I am an Olympic silver medalist in fencing, and I competed in 2004 and 2008 at both Olympic Games and had an amazing time.
And how did you first get involved in Right to Play?
My first event with Right to Play was in 2008. I was invited to go to the pre-gala dinner, which is a big event that Right to Play does every year in New York City. And I had the opportunity to meet Johan, and I got to meet some other staff members, and I was really intrigued by Right to Play because I didn't really know anything about it, and I hadn't done humanitarian work before that. But someone invited me to do more work, to do a fundraiser with them, and I slowly got more and more involved, and I couldn't get enough. And I had the opportunity to go to Jordan in 2009, and that was really the clincher. That was what made my relationship with Right to Play lifelong.
And what did you experience in Jordan while you were there?
Well, we went, myself and 3 other athletes went to the south of Jordan to go administrate programs, to run a master class, and to meet some of the community leaders that do work in the south. And I had the opportunity to go to so many different schools. We did work at a school for young girls. We did work at a school for deaf children. And for me, the most rewarding experience was playing games at the young girls' school. We played a game called Color Tag, and the girls were very shy because in the south of Jordan, girls are not really encouraged to play. And the Right to Play community leaders are very good about engaging them and getting them feeling comfortable. So by the end, they were running around, they were tagging people, they were excited, they were screaming, they were yelling. And I know Right to Play reaches about 700,000 people per year, 7,000 children per year on a bi-weekly basis. But those are facts and figures. But the real measure is seeing the smile on the kids' faces after every single activity.
Now, since your time in Jordan, you've been really involved with Right to Play. You've come back. You actually created your own fundraiser with a teammate of yours.
We did.
Tell us a little bit about that, and why you wanted to do it, and what the outcome of it was.
Sure, absolutely. So I do most of my training in New York City, and I've lived there for about 3 years. And my teammate from the Olympic Games, his name is Tim Morehouse. He's also an athlete ambassador for Right to Play. He and I have kind of gotten involved a little bit in the fashion world. So we've done a lot of work with the New York office. So we had this cool idea to kind of try and incorporate Right to Play with the fashion world with fencing. So we created this really interesting hybrid event with Barney's New York, which is a big department store that everybody knows. And we partnered with some of the photographers in the fashion space that we know to create really interesting images of fencing that were sort of a crossbreed between modern fencing, old fencing, and fashion. So we brought it all together. We had this fantastic event. We auctioned off all of these beautiful photos of our sport in the fashion space. We raised thousands of dollars for Right to Play. We had some really interesting guests. Nigel Barker, the famous fashion photographer, was there. Governor Patterson, the governor of New York, was there. And it was a really interesting eclectic group that raised awareness for Right to Play in New York City, but also raised money and had a great time as well.
So, tell us what sports and play has meant to you in your life, and how Right to Play fits in with, you're retired now, you're going on to your next part of your career. So tell us what sport and play has meant, and then tell us how you plan to keep being involved with Right to Play.
Sure. Well, if we separate play and sport, they both had a very powerful impact on me. Play, I think, is an integral part of any child's learning process. When you look at a young kid, they're always out in the field, they're playing. What do they want to do? They want to play hide and go seek, they want to pretend, they want to play dress up. These are really important ways for kids to learn lessons about life. So furthermore, sport, in my opinion, is one of the best ways to learn life lessons because it's a microcosm for life. When you live in a little world that has rules, you learn how to improve upon something and take systematic steps towards getting better and approaching goals. And you'll take those lessons for you all the way throughout your life. So to take Right to Play's sport and play programs and to bring them to some of the most disadvantaged areas of the world, you're teaching these kids who don't have the opportunities that we have afforded to them how to learn these integral lessons through something as simple as a game.
And how, now that you're moving on, how do you think you'll continue to be involved with Right to Play?
Well, deep in my heart, I always want to be involved in the play level. I want to be out there playing games with kids, and I always will be. But my next career is in marketing, and I know that there will be a lot of things that I can bring to Right to Play and helping them create more awareness, because marketing is fundamentally about creating awareness. So it'll be my pleasure to be continuing to work with them on that front, to play games with kids, to go to the field. I'm really totally at their disposal for anything that they need.
And one last question.
Sure.
If you were to talk to a current athlete, an athlete who's here today, this might be their first right to play event.
Sure.
What would you tell them about becoming an athlete ambassador and what it's really meant to you personally in your life?
Well, I would recommend that they think about the first time that they played the sport that they currently do and how exciting that was for them, how exhilarating it was to find this new thing, this new activity that just really got them going, and to remind them that by taking games and bringing them to some of the most disadvantaged areas of the world, they're creating that feeling for all of these kids that don't necessarily have the things that they have. It's one of the most rewarding feelings that you can ever experience, to know that you're spreading that feeling, that happiness all throughout the world.